And now for a science activity. Are you ready for this? So what we're going to do is we're going to determine if these things right here, I have a whole bunch of little items over here, if when I put them in the water, they're going to float like a boat or sink to the bottom. Won't that be fun? And then we'll make a little mark right here. If it sinks, we'll put a little line right there. If it floats, we'll put a line on this side. This word says sink, and this word says float. And you can tell the difference by the beginning letter in each word. Here's an S, and what does the S make? What sound? S. You're right. So this one is sink, and this one, the beginning letter is F. What sound does an F make? That's right, float, or S. Are you ready? Okay, let's begin. I'll start with this brush. This is a sponge brush, very soft, and it's got a wooden handle. Is it going to sink or float? What do you think? What is your guess? As a scientist, you always want to make a good guess. So make a guess, and it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. It's just going to be your scientific guess. All right, here we go. Let's see what the answer is. It's floating. If you said float, then you're right. And if you said sink, it doesn't even matter. Let's make one line over here. Float. All right. Next thing, we have a wood block. This wooden block, what do you think? Is it going to sink or float? Okay, let's take a look and see if your guess is right. It floats too. Another mark over here on the float side. All right, next we have a nail. What do you think? Sink or float? Let's take a look and see what the answer is. All the way to the bottom, just that fast. So it was sink. Let's write a line right here on the sink side. Here I have a cute little tomato out of my garden. I wonder, do tomatoes sink or do they float? What do you think? Let's take a look and see what the answer is. Oh, all the way down. Another one for our sink column. All right, here, this is, I hope you can see it. It's a little crystal rock that came off of a big crystal-y rock that my grandma Beth gave to me. And every once in a while, little pieces fall off, and I'd like to collect them and save them. Do you think a rock is going to sink or float? Let's take a look. All the way down. All right, another line on our sink side. All right, here is a marble, a beautiful blue marble. I used to collect marbles when I was little. My favorite ones were the ones that were all clear. I loved those the very most. Let's see, is the marble going to sink or float? Let's see if you're right. All the way down also. We have so many that are sinking and not floating like a boat. Let's do this little cup. Sometimes I like to put my snacks in this little cup. Let's see if it's going to sink or float. What do you think? Okay, let's take a look and see what it does. Oh, it floats right up on the top. All right, we have another one for the float side. There we go. And we have two more things. Here we have a red crayon, and it wouldn't matter whatever color it is. Does a crayon float or sink? All right, let's take a look. Yep, a little bit of a slower sinking, but it sinks. All right, we'll do one more right here. And then finally we end with this beautiful leaf. This was a green leaf and now it's turning yellow for fall because it's autumn time where I live, almost autumn time. Let's take a look. Make your guess, sink or float. Okay, I'm going to put it in. Floating right on top, not even getting wet on the top of it. All right, so we've got another float. All right, let's count and see how many of each we have. Let me move our jar over just a tiny bit. Here we go. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 items that sink in our experiment. Let's count how many on float. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 items that float. Which side has the larger number? Which side has the most? You're right. The sink side. We had more that were sinking than floating. All right, now I have a tricky one for you. I saved it for very last because I wanted to show you this. This is fun. I was so surprised that it did this. So I have a pickleball. Do you know anybody that plays pickleball? Do you play pickleball sometimes? This is a special ball that's made for that sport. And if you'll notice, it has holes in it. So I'm thinking it should probably sink because the holes will fill up with water and take it down to the bottom, right? But when I tested it, watch what happened. It starts to sink, but it doesn't go all the way down. Can you see that? The top of it is still above the water. So what would you say? Does a pickleball sink or float? Think about